Hello, Home Poet Tribe. I haven't forgotten about you. This video came a little later. Well, today we had a good day. We went to this state park called Willow River State Park. It's got very beautiful waterfalls and just had a good time hiking and being immersed in nature. And hopefully you have some time to have a good weekend yourself. And well, today we're going to go again into the book of Awakening, and I'm going to read you today's reflection. Today's reflection is titled God's Help. We don't let Him go into trust until we exhausted our ego. There's an old story about a man who was caught in a flood. First, he was called and told to evacuate his home. He calmly refused, saying God would save him. The waters rushed the streets, climbing the foundations of the home. When the streets were filled, a rescue team in a rubber raft called to him, and he again refused, saying God would save him. The power of the water deepened, and the flood was crushing through the windows of his home. He was now perched on his roof. A helicopter came, and he still refused, saying yet again that God would save him. The flood did what floods do, and he drowned. On the other side, he was angry and bitterly questioned God. Why didn't you save me? I kept my faith till the end. And God, perplexed, replied, I tried. I called and sent a raft and a helicopter, but you wouldn't come. Like the thought of love, God starts in everything unseeable, but comes to us plainly in the things of this world. So what do you think about today's reflection, guys? It sounds like a very simple message, but I think that's a lot to be said about it, right? I think sometimes we are so engrossed in our fixation about what we think is going to come as a solve when it comes to problems in our life. I think sometimes we look at things from a black and white perspective, or we have this visualization of what we think rescue is going to be for us, or what rescue looks like for us when it comes to our problems. And we sometimes, I would say, blind ourselves to see the help that's being given to us, the little signs that is in front of us that we take for granted, that we don't see as help, but it is. I would say for myself it's the same thing, because I myself sometimes have this idea of what help is, solutions is, how I imagine or visualize the answers to my problem to come in a form of whatever way I think it is. And I think what I've learned in my spiritual journey is those voices of help, when we do cry for help, and usually at our most low moments, desperate moments, sad moments, is when we are open to the possibility of help. Because I think pride hold us back, first from asking for help, or from even recognizing that there is anything wrong with our lives, right? But it's those moments where we are at our lowest of lows is when we are open to accepting help. And when we are that way, we're looking for answers, right? We're looking for signs. I personally believe in angels. Usually I ask my angels for signs, um for help, for solutions. Recently I'm just went through my own personal trauma recovery. It's an ongoing journey, and I would say um there is a lot of stigma around mental health, but the truth is there's a lot of people who struggle with mental health, especially in this COVID situation. And some of us have other factors like abuse trauma, um, environmental triggers that put us in a place where we feel so low and so alone, empty. And for me recently, it's just really going through this emotional depression that was so deep. And it's like it's a sadness that I couldn't quite understand. And I personally, it's a personal choice to not want to really go too much into medication. So I turned more into mindfulness, and I would say, as positive as you want to be, sometimes your mind is in a dark space, and during those dark moments, I ask my angels for help. I am a control freak. I want to know all the answers. I want to know all the solutions the way I think and imagine it to be. And I keep searching for my answers. And I think this passage really spoke to me because um, I'm kind of at the crossroads of my career where, I'm whether to go into coaching other people full time, which my spirit and my angels and the universe is just keep telling me this is my path as a light worker, as a spiritual healer. And then I have this practical person inside me too that is like, is this sustainable? Um, what if it doesn't work out? But although deep in my inner core, I know that this is my calling, like I'm meant to serve, to help, to because based on my experience, this is what I'm called to do. This is my passion, my purpose. um so it's just kind of like those two sides just struggling with each other, right? So I keep telling my angels, and I'm telling you, this is true story. I keep asking my angels for a sign, like, angels, I'm surrendering. Just give me the answers. What would you like me to do? What are the signs? Just give me a sign. So then this weekend we went to the mall, okay, to buy my son his football cleats and basically sports gear. And we drove all the way to this mall. And when we got to the parking lot, it was like kind of like an underground parking lot. And as soon as I opened the car door, guess what I saw? Two feathers on the ground. Okay, feathers, if for those of you who are more in tune with spirituality, angels, it's a sign from the angels. Okay. And I right away at that moment I had goosebumps. I'm like, that's my sign. Like, where in the world would, I know my husband sometimes thinks I'm woo woo, and I already told you I'm woo woo, that there was two feathers right by my door as I opened the door. Okay. So anyway, I was just like getting goosebumps. I'm like, okay, and angels, you're giving me the signs, but I'm just sitting with that realization and that understanding, and I went about with my day. And then the very next day, school started for my boys, and so he needed school supplies. So I said, okay, let's go to the Dollar Tree to see if there's any school supplies, whatever you need that we didn't get for school, whatever. So went to Dollar Tree, came out of Dollar Tree, and I kid you not, there were just feathers like everywhere, just in that little corner. And there is no other way to explain how that is possible. But I saw feathers, and again, it was my angels, giving me a sign to say, this is your path, like, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to surrender. And I'm just soaking it in, taking it in. It's like, how in the world outside of Dollar Tree there would be just this, like I am not kidding you, it was just feathers on the ground, feathers on everywhere. And when and this feather situation keeps coming up. Like, I would wake up and I have feather on my pillow. I there would be feather on the floor. And it was just my angels keep giving me signs. And even when I wasn't thinking about it, my angels were giving me signs. So I was going on YouTube. I was doing some research and stuff, and this person on whatever I was reading came up with a quote. that I thought was, me and my quotes, very meaningful. And I'm like, oh, I need to write that down. So I took the post-it note I took the post-it note because I was going to write the note down. And as I take the post-it note and was going to write, guess what? Behind that post-it note, that sticky part, there was a feather. It was a feather. It was a sign. And I know these signs to some people sound like very woo, but it is my sign. And it doesn't come in the form of like a very practical solution, but at the same time, it's a sign for me. And so again, I have a decision to make, to believe and to move forward, to leap in faith, or to recognize it but not move forward with it. I guess end of the day, it's the action that we take that's going to matter, and the action we take is going to end us up in the path that was meant to be. But it all starts with that faith part and the faith piece. And so, like that passage, God can send a raft, a helicopter, but if you don't recognize something that is so in your face, then do you really have faith? So I think it's meaningful. I think it speaks to me based on my life situation right now. And I hope this serves you. Maybe there are some big signs that are right in front of you that you miss. It could be a woo woo sign, but I would say take a moment, take a step back. Maybe you are at the lowest of your lows right now and you're just looking for help, looking for a way out. And maybe your mind is too busy to recognize those little signs, those little hints that sometimes it comes in the form of songs, sometimes it comes in the forms of, lyrics in the songs. Sometimes it come from like little quotes that you read. Sometimes it comes in the form of angel feathers. Sometimes it comes in the form of whatever that speaks to you, I would say. But I think the main thing is just, are you willing to listen, to stay silent, and not feel like you need to be in control, and surrender is when you're going to be finding the answers that you're looking for. So hopefully this serves you, ladies. Hopefully tomorrow I will come up with another one of our reflection from the Book of Awakening, and I look forward to sharing more tomorrow. But hopefully this helps you really think and reflect upon where you are at this moment, and if you're missing signs, to really take a step back and just kind of observe. Sometimes taking the time to step back and observe, you realize is that there's a lot of clues that you're missing. So, you have a good day and hope to talk to you again tomorrow. Bye.